All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Season 1, Episode 2 of Vapor Sports. Week 2 of the NFL just wrapped up last night, so we're going to do our weekly reaction as well as our Week 3 predictions. And we're also going to throw some power rankings in there. So, quite an interesting week for sure. It would be hard to put one word to, it's hard to put one word on a week in the NFL, but if I had to choose one, it would probably be injuries, injuries, injuries. So, yeah, geez, kind of insane. I mean, the Broncos were bad, but so was everyone else, man. So,
I feel bad most for the 49ers. I mean, they lost Jimmy G, Solomon Thomas, Nick Bosa, they've lost basically every key player. I don't know
yeah,
what's going to happen with them. I hope they recover. We'll see about
yeah,
that.
man, I don't know. It's not looking too bright for them right now. All right. All right, so first game that we're gonna be talking about here, Chiefs and Chargers, a game that I didn't see live, but watched through some of the highlights. And when I was watching the Bronco game and kind of looked at, sorry, it was after the Bronco game was over, but I was busy at the time. But I just remember like pulling up my phone, googling the score, and went, "Holy crap!" What is like, is this from like another year? Did Google mess up my search or something? It was pretty surprising. Definitely pulling for the Chargers there. Um, Chiefs came out with a win, just barely. It was definitely close, which can't ask for much more than that if you're the Chargers. Go ahead.
So Harrison Bucker ended up kicking the game-winning field goal. Just some notable stats. Patrick Mahomes was 27 out of 47 completions, 302 yards, as well as 2 touchdowns. One of them was to Tyreek Hill, who had 5 catches for 99 yards. Travis Kelce, their tight end, also had 9 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown. As for the Chargers, Justin Herbert, their rookie from Oregon, got his first start, and he was 22 out of 33 on passing 311 yards and a touchdown as well as an interception. Leading receiver was Keenan Allen with 7 catches for 96.
Pretty damn good game for Justin Herbert. Yeah, I mean the biggest takeaway from this game is I don't think anyone should be worried about the Chiefs right now because if you look at last year, they're definitely a team that gets really hot really late, and they're still a good team at the beginning, but they're definitely a late year team. So they got the win. I think that's all that matters for them right now. I don't think anyone should be worried. If you, like many people, pick the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, if you put money on that, I wouldn't be too worried quite yet.
Again, as I said last week, I think the AFC West is definitely going to be, as far as like the teams and their depth, I think there's a lot more competition compared to last year. I still think the Chiefs will, they'll probably be the favorites, but the Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders are all still in contention. And again, it's really only the first week, so can't really know for sure.
Yep. I'd say other than like the NFC West, they might be the most competitive division, but NFC South too. Anyways, let's get into our next game. We'll uh, just grease over this real quickly because we have a whole video. If you want to hear more about the Broncos Steelers, check out our last video. It'll be at the end in the end cards. So yeah, basically Steelers should be worried. Broncos played with a lot of injuries. Jeff Driscoll, not a bad first impression. He threw for 200 something ish yards, a touchdown, or 2 touchdowns, and the interception wasn't really his fault. The interception was a complete drop by the receiver. So not a bad start. And the Broncos just signed Blake Bortles this morning, which I think
I
is
heard about that.
that's an interesting choice because I feel like you would want to say to Jeff Driscoll that, hey, it's all about you. You're the new leader of this team, and I feel like signing Blake Bortles wasn't really a smart move in my opinion. But then again, I'm not an NFL GM, so I could be wrong.
I actually kind of see the same situation, or it kind of happened last year with the Steelers as well when Ben got hurt, and they had Mason Rudolph playing, also had Devlin Hodges. I think Broncos are kind of in the same situation. They're like, well, what do we do without our quarterback? And they're looking for options. I'm not sure Bortles is really going to be a long-term solution. I think he'll do fine if he does end up playing, but I'm not sure why they wouldn't give Driscoll a chance. They would say, hey, you're backup,
Well, and
take your role.
that was a really good performance against a very good defense, and it was the first time in the Steelers' past 8 games that a team scored 20 points or more against them since week 8 when they played the Ravens. So yeah, I was definitely a little confused by that. I feel like if you're gonna go sign someone, you would probably just sign Kaepernick, which
Yeah.
taking out, this is just a personal opinion of mine, taking out politics and social issues and whatnot. In his core, I feel like Kaepernick, other than the Super Bowl run, his last few years before he lost his job, he wasn't a very proficient football player. But that's just me. I feel like you just shouldn't sign a quarterback. I feel like you go Jeff Driscoll. That's why you signed him in the offseason. But anything on the Steelers that any takeaways from this?
I'm not
game?
really too concerned. I think they'll do a bit. Well, I'm hoping they do a bit better next week. Yeah, I mean, they didn't look that great against Denver, and considering that their offense did not have a great game. I mean, they did end up winning, but more just
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
honestly.
I mean,
we'll find out.
Denver gave them every chance to win by 30 points.
Yeah,
They gave them every chance.
we can't dwell on that.
Yep. I mean, at the end of the day, excuses. Whoever wins gets the win. There's no. There may be. It would have to be a pretty crazy game for there to be a moral victory, but I wouldn't say it was a moral defeat for the Broncos. All right, let's go to our last game: Seahawks and Patriots. This was kind of the game I was most looking forward to, just because it's two really powerhouse teams. One team that is, been fairly consistent and has a lot of the same players as well as a few new faces, and then one that is, they have new, Cam Newton and that kind of thing. So, and of course, me and Tate here, we chose differently. So he went Pats, I went Seahawks.
Yep.
That was a very exciting game, though. I didn't see all of it. I only saw the last third, but I mean, that was a very entertaining game, and I'm glad it was on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, so Seahawks ended up winning 35-30. The Seahawks were able to get a 4th goal stop on Cam Newton.
Right.
He, I don't know, just some rushing attempt, and he got flipped over.
Yep.
Anyway, Russell Wilson with 21 out of 28 passing, 288 yards and 5 passing touchdowns, as well as an interception. He ended up completing touchdowns to DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, David Moore, Chris Carson, and Freddie Swan.
Yep.
Then as for the Patriots, Cam Newton with 30 out of 44 completions, 397 yards, 1 touchdown and an interception. He was also their leading rusher with 2 touchdowns. And Julian Edelman was their leading receiver with 8 catches and 179 yards. So
Yeah.
valiant effort, but in the end did not get it done.
Yeah, not a bad game for the Pats offense. I really thought this would be a bit lower scoring. I have all faith in Russell Wilson. He's probably, if say the NFL did some kind of thing where everyone had to get redrafted, every single player, and I was a GM and I had the first pick, I would highly consider Russell Wilson, because it's cool to have an awesome playmaker like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, but I feel like if you need someone to make a clutch throw in a clutch situation, Russell Wilson may be the best guy for that. And glad he's on my fantasy team. Those 5 touchdowns really helping me out.
Yeah.
All right. So those are kind of our 3 big games that we chose. So let's go on to the power rankings here. Just loosely looking over, it doesn't look like too much change, but let's start with the Jets. The Jets basically injured half of the 49ers team, and they still lost 31-10, I think was the final score. I think around there.
Something like that.
Yeah, so completely agree with that. I think the Jets will stay at the bottom for a while. Also, do you think the Broncos' first win will be against the Jets in 2 weeks, or do you think they can beat the Buccaneers? I know we're going to go over that, but do you
I
think
think
that?
they. Well, I think. I don't know. I think they
Yeah.
can beat the Jets.
Oh yeah,
See.
definitely. All right.
Okay. So for 31, the Cincinnati Bengals are 0-2. They ended up losing to Cleveland on Thursday. Again, there's hope for Joe Burrow, but they didn't change, so
Yep.
it's really all.
Panthers 0-2. With Christian McCaffrey out, it's going to be hard to dig themselves out of this hole they were kind of in. I don't know how long Christian McCaffrey's supposed to be out. I don't know if there's been an update on that, but I mean, I think the Raiders and the Buccaneers are going to turn out to be two pretty good teams this year. So it's not like they had two tragic losses against bad teams, but at the same time, they're definitely finding their footing. New coach, new quarterback, young team, young defense. So I agree with that placement. I think they could be a couple, maybe one or two higher, but can't argue with that one.
Yeah, so next spot at 29, the New York Giants. So notably, they lost Saquon Barkley to a torn ACL. That's not going to be good for them considering that, well, they don't really have anybody else behind him. And they did not move, so they stay at 29.
Yep. 28, we got the Dolphins. Dolphins lost to the Bills and the Patriots, two division rivals, two super good teams. I think Miami is just such a young team, and I do definitely think that they have a lot more talent than they did last year, and they have a lot of like raw, pure talent, but they need to like become an actual team that can work together. And until that happens, they're gonna stay, sub 25 in the rankings.
Yep. All right, 27, Detroit Lions. They ended up losing to the Packers. They went down from 25, and really, that's really all. And not much hope for them, in my opinion.
Yep. We got the Jaguars, who they won their first game against who did they beat? They beat someone that they weren't supposed to beat. And then they almost won against the Titans, so they actually went up a rank even after the loss last week. They had a very strong chance. Gardner Minshew, man. Gardner Minshew is kind of reminding me of Fitzpatrick for the Dolphins last year, who is like, who just refuses to let them tank. Jacksonville has done everything in their power to tank as much as they possibly can, and Gardner Minshew is just not letting it happen. Minshew mania is a real thing, man. He's a pretty special player. It's a shame he's on such a shit team.
Yeah, so 25, the Washington football team at 1-1, they moved down a spot from 24 in week 2. Just some advice: don't play anybody except maybe Terry McLaurin on fantasy. I have him on my bench right now, but he's really the only reliable guy on the Washington football team that I would trust playing.
Yeah, I think their record will be a lot better than last year, but yeah, I don't think they're going to be a top 20 team anytime super soon. 24, we got my Denver Broncos. They went down a rank. When you lose a game, you shouldn't go up. So I mean, seems fair enough. I think until they figure out what the hell they're going to do with all these injuries, they're gonna keep slowly going down because the defense is good enough that they'll stay. I think they can stay with any team in the league. I don't think they're going to get blown out this year by anyone, but I also think their record in the end isn't going to be very good until either Jeff Driscoll proves himself or, that young team now that even Courtland Sutton, who's in his third year, who is still, a super young receiver, is out. So now that receiving core is as young as can be right now. So 24 seems about right.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Cleveland Browns. Again, they beat Cincinnati on Thursday. They moved up 3 spots from 26, and they are 1-1. I guess the standout player to me is Nick Chubb. He has some good games, a lot actually. Just watch out for him in the later season.
Yeah. 22, we got the Falcons, blew a massive lead once again. I couldn't believe they lost. I wasn't watching the game again. I wasn't watching too much football this past Sunday, but I could not believe that they let the Cowboys come back, because all I want is the Cowboys to lose, and apparently I can't even have that. So yeah, I feel like the Falcons should be a lot lower. They have such good offense. They have such good pieces. They really shouldn't be as bad as they are.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I think the Cowboys had 3 fumbles and 1 like failed kick. I didn't really watch that much of the game, but I knew they had a ton of turnovers.
Yeah.
Anyway, 21 Philadelphia. I ended up picking them to beat the Rams. That didn't happen at all. So they went down 5 spots from 16 in week 2, and they are 0-2 as well.
All right, moving to the Houston Texans. Kind of seems like they're trying to tank too. They're kind of feeling like a little bit of a Jaguar team right now, because they have Deshaun Watson and not too much else at this point. There's no one really notable on their defense. Their defense is kind of iffy. As for their offense, they got rid of obviously their number 1 receiver, and it's really biting them in the ass right now. So I think they're going to keep falling and keep falling until they fix it next season, which I don't even know if they can do that.
Yeah. So next, Minnesota Vikings are also 0-2. They ended up losing to the Colts, I believe, this weekend. They went down 5 spots from week 14. I thought they were going to have at least a record of 1-1, but they have been very disappointing so far.
Yeah. Moving on, we got the Chargers, who are 1-1. They went up 4 spots after almost beating the Chiefs, which I think is actually pretty fitting. I think they definitely deserve moving up. I don't know. I feel like 18 might be pushing it a little bit, but I really could be wrong about that, because their 1 win is against the Bengals. But yeah, we'll have to see about the Chargers, man. They're kind of a hard team to predict right now, especially with Justin Herbert just starting out.
Yeah. So next up, Chicago Bears have moved up to 17 after being 20 in week 2. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm surprised that they, are 2-0 for some reason. With Mitch Trubisky, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do later, but not too hopeful yet. We'll see.
Yeah, sure. I agree. We got the Colts at 16, who are 1-1. I think that is not a great call, considering they lost to the Jaguars. I think moving them up 2 spots after winning is fair enough, but I think that's a little too high for how they've performed so far.
Yeah. So next we have the Bucks. They are 1-1 after losing to the Saints in week 1. They came back to beat the Panthers this weekend. They went down 2 spots from 13. Yeah, it was a better game for them, but again, I think they were maybe ranked a little too high last weekend, and that kind of shows in their performance.
Yep. Next, we got the Cowboys, who went actually down 2 ranks even after that miraculous comeback. Yeah, I don't even know really what to think about the Cowboys, really. I mean, I think there is everything that can be said about the Cowboys has been said. I'm kind of confused why they went down 2 spots after coming back against a fairly talented Atlanta team. But I can't argue with their placement here. I think they still got to prove themselves, especially after the mediocre year last year.
Yeah, so next we have the Las Vegas Raiders. Wow, they are 2-0. They moved up 4 spots from 17 to 13. Yeah, I mean, honestly, watching the Monday Night Football game yesterday, they looked pretty good. Like Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, it seems like they're kind of working together now. Last season maybe wasn't the best, but I guess there is some hope for them. And if they are able to beat the Saints, which are like one of the powerhouses of the NFC, I mean,
Yep.
Who knows who they can beat, but don't get your hopes up just yet, but there is They are playing very well right now.
Yeah. Next we got the Cardinals at number 12. They are shooting for the moon right now. They are coming for the Niners. They're coming for the Seahawks. And that NFC West, man, that is probably the best division in football right now. They've basically got four solid teams as of right now. I mean, if the 49ers aren't banged up. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the Cardinals can do this year. I think they can make it really far, especially with that extra wild card spot this year.
Yep. All right, 11. My Steelers are 2-0. Again, I'm not too hopeful right now, but they are staying at 11. Just as I guess, like a note is that you should watch out for. Again, I wasn't hopeful on James Conner. I thought he was going to be like injured and not really, or somewhat rusty, but he actually did a lot better than I thought. So just watch out for him in the coming weeks.
All right, got number 10. We got the Patriots. They moved down a rank. Yeah, they lost to a very good team, so moving them down too much wouldn't really be fair. I think keeping at 10 is they've got a good team. They just got to find out what works for them in terms of like schemes and whatnot. But considering they have Cam Newton for about the price of a they basically got him at the dollar store for QBs. So I think the Patriots.
Yep.
I think they just need to Bill Belichick and Cam Newton. Once they work together more and more, they're going to get better and better.
Yeah. So some hope for the Patriots. We'll see. All right, number 9, 49ers are 1-1. They went down 3 spots from number 6 in week 2. Again, the injuries, we won't really know how much of an impact that will have on their, performances. But as of now, they are kind of trending down. Again, if they are able to win some games, that's cool. But I'm not sure it's looking too bright. Only if like Jimmy G and some of their key pieces come back and are fully healthy, but yeah, it's not looking too great for them, especially with all the injuries right now.
All right, moving up 8 to the Tennessee Titans. They stay in their number 8 position. They are 2-0, but holy moly, they are barely 2-0. They are just a couple plays away from being 0-2, so I think moving them up wouldn't really be fair, especially since they beat a banged up Broncos team and a tanking Jaguars team. So seems fair enough. Yeah. I think Ryan Tannehill actually looks pretty good. I don't think we're going to find out anytime soon if he's, a system quarterback right now, but yeah, Tennessee's just a solid team as of right now. We'll see if they can keep winning these close games.
Yeah. So number 7, the Los Angeles Rams, they moved up 3 spots from week 2. They beat the Cowboys in a close game, and they looked pretty good against the Eagles. So not to say that they're probably trending in the right direction. You're hoping that Jared Goff will play, very well in these coming weeks, especially when they start divisional play. But they're looking in the right direction as of now.
Yep. All right. Moving on to the Buffalo Bills, 2-0. They move up 1 spot. Yeah, they barely beat the Dolphins. They got pretty lucky in that game that they pulled out with a win, but I just think that defense is so good. I think they're gonna have a real shot at maybe an AFC title if they can if they can slow down the Ravens and the Chiefs offenses down the line. But you got to win the regular season first, so we'll see what happens to them down the line.
Yeah. All right, number 5, Saints. They moved down 2 spots from number 3. Again, they didn't look that great against the Raiders. They put up a good fight, but I guess really my question is who's going to step up for Michael Thomas, because, again, he was their leading receiver, and he will be out for a long time. And it's going to be interesting to see kind of who steps up in his place as far as catches and as a go-to receiver for Drew Brees. So they are 1-1.
All right, next we got the Packers. Packers looking pretty good. Aaron Rodgers is on a bit of a, I feel like it's a little bit of a revenge tour, I got him in fantasy. He has looked very, very good, and I think I think Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers I think they both have a real shot at the MVP because I think Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes are probably kind of the favorites going into the season, but I definitely am very confident in Aaron Rodgers right now. I feel like he wants to prove that he can still play at a elite level.
Yeah, so next, Seahawks are 2-0 as well. They ended up beating the Patriots on the Sunday night game. I was going to say, I really like Chris Carson right now. I think he's doing a lot more as a receiver, and that showed in that game against the Patriots. So they moved up one spot, and they look pretty good right now.
All right, we got Baltimore Ravens at number 2. Not much to say. I do think the Ravens are definitely the best. They're the most complete team right now, so can't argue with that too much.
Yep. And then finally, at number 1, the Chiefs have not moved. Again, they got away basically with a win against the Chargers, but they still look pretty good. Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill are still monsters, and hopefully they will continue to keep playing at that same level. But yeah, we'll look at that. Okay.
All right, so let's go through our predictions. First game, Dolphins and Jaguars, Thursday Night Football, Minshew Magic, young Dolphins team. I'm actually gonna go Jaguars here. I think Minshew's gonna put.
I'm going Jaguars as well.
All right, Chicago at Atlanta. I'm gonna go Atlanta here, even though Chicago's 2-0. They played pretty well, but I'm gonna go Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Falcons as well. I think they can rebound from that disaster last week. We'll see.
Yep. We got 2 undefeated teams. We got the Rams at Buffalo. I think Buffalo's defense will take care of business, and I think Josh Allen will, as usual, do well enough. So I'm gonna go Buffalo here.
I got the Bills as well. I think Stephon Diggs is. People are sleeping on him. He might have a productive game this week against not the greatest defense in Rams. So we'll see about that one.
All right. Then we got Titans at Vikings. Vikings playing pretty. Oh wait, sorry, I skipped one. Washington at Cleveland. Washington is still Washington, and Cleveland's still Cleveland. So I'm gonna go Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm going with the Browns as well. I think Baker Mayfield will have a better game. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yep. And we got Titans and Vikings, a Vikings team that is struggling as of right now, and then a Titans team who's winning close games. So I'm gonna go Titans here.
I got the Titans. I think they're trending in the right direction. Yeah, I'm not too hopeful on the Vikings, so I got Titans as well.
All right, and then we got the undefeated Raiders at the New England Patriots, who are 1-1. I'm gonna go New England here. I think Cam Newton is gonna continue to play well, and I think it's gonna be a very close game. But I think New England's defense will pull out probably some stops, maybe a crucial turnover, and it'll kind of put New England on the right track to winning this game.
I wouldn't be surprised if Vegas gets an upset, but I'm going with the Patriots.
All right, so we got San Francisco at Giants. San Francisco complaining about MetLife Field's turf last week, and now they have to play there on the same turf again, this time at Giants. But even with all those injuries, I think the Giants are without Saquon. They're pretty much their best piece, so I'm going to go 49ers.
Yeah, I got the 49ers as well. Again, without Jimmy G and all their pieces, it'll be interesting to see. I still think they'll pull it out, so I got 49ers as well.
All right, we got the Bengals at Philadelphia. This is definitely going to be a good game, I think. Philadelphia is kind of struggling so far. But I'm going to go the Bengals because I think Joe Burrow is going to take another step forward. I think he's going to have an even better game than he's had. And he had a pretty good game against Cleveland. So I'm going to go for what would be a bit of an upset, but I'm going to go Bengals.
Yeah, well, I'm going to disagree again. It's funny because I picked the Eagles to beat the Rams, but I'm just going to stick with them again. I do like Joe Burrow, though. Again, I think, he is going in the right direction, but I think Carson Wentz will kind of figure it out. So I got Eagles in this one. I'll probably be wrong, but I don't care.
Next, we got Houston at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh playing at home again. Their defense played pretty well against Denver, despite giving up 21 points. I think those 7 sacks are gonna. I think they're gonna have around that same number. I think they're gonna have between like 5 and 8 sacks against Houston, even with the elusive Deshaun Watson, leading the Texans. So I think Pittsburgh's gonna win this one.
I got the Steelers as well. I don't really see this as. I mean, I don't really see this as a close game unless Pittsburgh kind of pulls off the same stuff they did last week against Denver. But yeah, we'll see about that. I got the Steelers in this one.
All right, so I got the Jets at Indianapolis. I'm gonna go the Colts. They're at home. I think Phillip Rivers is gonna get into a really good rhythm. I think he's gonna have a pretty big day, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna bet against the Jets until it stops working. So.
I got Colts in this one.
All right, then we got the Panthers at Chargers. Chargers seemingly playing quite well early on. Panthers not so much, and now that they're without Christian McCaffrey, I don't know how much they can really get done, so I'm going to go Chargers.
I got the Chargers in this one. I think Justin Herbert is definitely, again, without Tyrod Taylor, you were kind of wondering, well, what's going to be the situation with Herbert? Is he going to be ready? I think he showed that definitely in the Chiefs game. Again, their defense, the Chiefs defense isn't really as strong, but I don't think it changed at all.
It's still a good defense, though.
Carolina. Yeah, but I got the Chargers.
All right, so we got Tampa Bay going to the Mile High City to play Denver. Denver coming off a loss, Tampa coming off a win. I'm going to go for the upset here. I'm going to say Denver. I think the Denver Broncos are the only team in the entire NFL that Tom Brady has a losing record against. Historically, Tom Brady has been terrible in the Mile High City, and I think even without fans, he'll have some trouble. Well, actually, no, there will be fans. So forgot about that. There, have a small capacity. So I think Denver's going to pull off an upset. I think the defense is going to play really well. I think O.J. Mudia might finally get his first interception after getting one called back in the first game and dropping one in the second game. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too confident about the choice, but I'm going to go for the upset.
Yeah, I'm going to play it safe and just go with the Bucs. But again, I could possibly see Denver having, this could be a close game. I don't disagree with your points. Yeah, I'm going to play it safe and just go with the Bucs.
All right. Then we got Detroit at Arizona. I don't think this is going to be much of a competition. I think Kyler Murray's going to have a great day. I think DeAndre Hopkins going to have a great day, so I'm going to go Arizona.
Stack Cardinals.
All right. And then we got Dallas at Seattle. Dallas coming off that miraculous win, and then Seattle coming off also a very great win against the Patriots. But with Russell Wilson back there, it's hard to bet against the Seahawks. So I'm going to go with my Seahawks. I'm very high on them this year, so.
I like the Seahawks right now. Dallas kind of came off a mediocre win against. Again, they showed a lot of fight against the Falcons, but I mean, you can kind of blame the Falcons for
shooting
that
themselves
lead.
in the foot. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's the phrase. So I got Seahawks in this one.
All right, and then we got Green Bay at New Orleans. New Orleans coming off the loss, and listen, man, when Aaron Rodgers gets hot, I don't know why anyone would bet against them. So I'm going to go Green Bay. I'm going to say it's going to be, especially since Rodgers has played so well and Breeze has played so mediocre. So I'm going to go Green Bay here.
Yeah, I think this will be a very interesting game. I think, as you said, Rodgers is trending in the right direction. So I got the Packers in this one as well.
All right, and then this is the game oh man, this is going to be possibly one of the best games of the entire year. This is one that people have been marking on their calendars since the schedule came out. Boy, I'm going to be in my seat with this one. Popcorn, soda in hand. Really excited. Kansas City at Baltimore. I literally think it might come down to whoever has the home field advantage in this game, and so this time it's going to be the Ravens. So I'm going to go Ravens in a pretty close one, but I think since Ravens are a more complete team, I think they'll get the win.
As you said, the home field advantage. Again, even without the fans, it might not matter, but I really like this game. I'm going with the Ravens as well. I think the player to watch, though, will be Mark Andrews, their tight end, he's kind of been like
Yeah, definitely.
quiet for a lot. Like we didn't really know about him until last season when he had that connection with Jackson. But I
Right.
think he'll match up well with the Kansas City defense, and hopefully he'll get some opportunities. And yeah, I think this will be definitely a close game. So be sure to watch this one.
Yeah, no, I think this is gonna pull in pretty good numbers in terms of viewership, and I think this may be one of the games that kind of is remembered from the 2020 season. So that's gonna wrap up our this episode. We're getting about 30 minutes, so I think that's a pretty good length. Anything to add before we head out?
I guess. Well, I'm hoping as I said, I hope the Nuggets can steal a game.
Right.
I want this to be an interesting series. Right now, it's not really looking like that. But can we also talk about the Boston Celtics and Heat? Because I think the Celtics are just, again, they won, but you were kind of thinking where was that like game 1 and game 2?
Right. I know
So
what you
that
mean.
will be an interesting series. Game 4 is on
Yeah.
Wednesday. So I would like to see the Celtics and Lakers in the finals, but that's
Yeah.
just me.
Just classic
We'll see.
matchup.
But I want them to be interesting series. Like I don't want it to be a sweep.
So I can't really complain honestly because I mean I'm not like a Celtics or Heat fan, but it's not like I dislike those teams. And then as for the Nuggets and the Lakers, Nuggets hometown team, but the Lakers, my dad grew up in LA, so I mean Lakers are kind of the other team I pull for when it comes to basketball. So I mean I won't be like salty if the Nuggets lose. But yeah, I like you said, I really hope it's an interesting series, and it really could be 1-1 because Mason. I don't remember his first name, but Plumlee kind of blew an assignment at the end of the game and kind of allowed Davis to get that shot off. So I mean, it could be a very different series right now, and I mean the Nuggets play way better from behind apparently. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Keeping our eye on that. All right.
That's all I got.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we'll see you guys. I think we'll see. We might do like a Broncos and a Steelers prediction videos. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We can do that.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you next week.